Do you ever just want to break down and disintegrate? Integration takes so much labor.
To life.
Today, we hear from two beings, a black hole and a decomposing human, on how they manage to live in paradox, somewhere between the states of disintegration and integration. Welcome, Black Hole. Could you tell us how you live? Is there anything left once everything is an empty mass? It seems a human might be able to speak about this, as their individuality will be slowly dissolved as the centuries roll by. Let's hear from one who is in the middle of decomposition.
So let's begin by discussing my death. Most of us think of dying in stark existential terms. Either you are alive or you are dead. In this existential view, death is like flipping a switch from on to off. Once the switch is flipped, an organism passes from a life of restless activity to the mystery of non-existence. We often think about life and death as antagonistic conditions, where the arrival of death indicates the cessation of life. The physiological view of dying, however, is much more complicated than this existential view. In physiological processes, life and death exist simultaneously and continuously inform each other. When I die, my body doesn't cease to exist. It actually undertakes many important changes. At first, the muscles in my body relax, my heart stops beating, and blood pools in specific tissues. A few hours later, the muscles contract and my body stiffens. After this, bacteria and insects assist in breaking down the soft tissues of my body, eventually exposing the bones of my skeleton, which, given the right environment, can last for several years without their flesh. In this view of death, life and death occur simultaneously, as elements of our bodies change or disappear while others persist. For instance, the hardness of my bones supports my flesh for part of my body's existence, but lingers on after my flesh has wasted away. Bones remain a haunting reminder that not all of us cease to exist once our inner worlds have eclipsed and our flesh decayed. The implication of this view of life and death is that what we call a body is anything but a unified entity. Although we tend to think of our bodies as a single thing, a sack of meat perhaps, or bundle of flesh, bodies are, in fact, congregations of complex processes choreographed across vast spaces, materials, and durations. Everything involved with our bodies, such as my flesh, my bones, my thoughts, my desires, depends upon interactions between atomic, molecular, organismic, familial, and social spaces. This packaging of disparate elements, such as life and death, produces drama. Unfortunately, life's drama is too easily dismissed as a byproduct instead of one of its most important elements. I think this dramatic view of life, a life that cries in pain, a life that has lost its purpose, and a life that's just barely holding it together, is a more accurate view of how living things actually exist than as organisms composed of tightly bound parts working towards a goal. Thinking about my death has taught me that just as we carry deaths with us as we live, we also carry loss, conflict, and sadness. Our lives are shaped just as much by these feelings than by any sense of purpose.